Greetings aspirants. Today let's talk about another concept from the subject environment and ecology, that is carbon offsetting. Now, what is the carbon offset? These are tradable rights or certificates that are linked to activities that lower the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now, these certificates or the offsets, they offset or compensate the buyer's CO2 emissions that with an equal amount of carbon reductions somewhere else. So how is it done? Let's take an example. For example, there are two industries, A and B. Now, if A is into farming or growing woodlands or forest or teak plantations in his farm, this is reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. A is not just not emitting any CO2 into the atmosphere, he is also sequestering the carbon dioxide. That is, sequestering is capturing the atmospheric CO2 and storing it in for a longer period of times. Now, if there is an industry like a thermal power plant, that is industry B. Now they are unable to reduce their emissions and they're unable to meet the goals of the reduced emissions. Now what they can do, they can buy the rights from industry A, where the amount of carbon sequestered by the industry A can be bought by industry B. So this is how carbon offsetting is done. So from here we can understand that the certificates offset or compensate the buyer's CO2, that is the industry B's CO2 emissions, for an equal amount of CO2 reductions by reductions somewhere else, that is from industry A. Now let's move on and see how is it done. So carbon offsets fund specific projects that either lower CO2 emissions or sequester. Sequester meaning storing, capturing and storing the carbon dioxide for longer periods of time. So some common examples of these projects are reforestation, building renewable energy sources like the solar power plants, and carbon storing agricultural practices, waste and landfill management. Let's look at what are the benefits of this carbon offsetting. Now, for example, if a company is trying to switch from something like a thermal power plant, if industry A wants to switch to solar power, but the installation charges or the installation takes lots of money and it's very expensive. So what it can do is it can charge or it can sell the offset that it is going to sequester or reduce the emissions. That amount of carbon dioxide can be traded to other companies and that money can be used for the investment of the project. And the same can be done by the states and the countries. If a country is unable to reduce its emissions, it can buy the offsets from other countries or other states and other industries to maintain a global reduction in the emissions of the carbon dioxide. So today in this concept, we have learned what is carbon offsetting, how is it done, and the benefits of it. Thank you.